Have you ever laid there in the quiet moments after your head on the pillow and wondered what he's really thinking? You can feel the warmth of his body next to yours, but a secret question echoes in the silence of your mind. Was that truly great for him? Was I enough? For years, we've been told the answer to that question lies in trying harder, in learning new tricks from magazines, in buying lingerie, in being more adventurous. We've been taught to perform. But what if I told you that everything you've been led to believe is wrong? What if the secret to what men consider truly, unforgettably great sex has almost nothing to do with performance and everything to do with psychology? What if it's a hidden language, a secret code that, once you understand it, allows you to connect with him on a level so deep, so primal, that he feels seen and desired in a way no one else has ever made him feel? Today, we are not just sharing tips. We are handing you the master blueprint to his desire. We're going to decode the 4 foundational secrets that transform physical intimacy into a profound emotional bond. These aren't techniques. They are psychological keys that unlock the deepest parts of his mind, his trust, and his devotion. By the end of this video, you won't just know what he wants. You will understand why he wants it. You will have the power to create a connection so magnetic, so intensely intimate, it will make you completely irreplaceable in his heart and mind. And the first secret is the most powerful and surprising of all. It's the foundation that everything else is built upon, and it has almost nothing to do with what happens in the bedroom. It's the key to making him feel safe, seen, and utterly devoted to you long before your skin ever touches. Stay with me because we're about to unlock it. Number 50, the foundation, the secrets of consistent connection, the question you're afraid to ask. So let's go back to that quiet moment, that space between heartbeats when the world is still and you find yourself wondering. That question, was I enough, doesn't come from a place of weakness. It comes from a place of deep caring. It's born from the desire to not just share a bed, but to share a soul, to not just touch his body, but to truly touch his heart. And in a world that gives us so much conflicting advice, that question can feel heavy and the answer can feel impossibly out of reach. I want you to take a gentle breath and let that feeling of uncertainty rest for a moment, because the journey we are starting today is not about adding to that pressure. It is about releasing it. This is not about becoming a performer, learning a script, or measuring up to some impossible standard you've seen in movies or read about in magazines. This is about something much deeper, much more real, and infinitely more powerful. It's about understanding the path to becoming an unforgettable partner, the kind of woman he feels he can't live without, is not paved with technique. It's paved with insight. It's about seeing the man in front of you not as a puzzle to be solved, but as a heart to be understood. For too long, we've been taught that male desire is simple, purely physical, a switch that just needs to be flipped. But that is a profound misunderstanding. His desire for you is a complex and beautiful ecosystem tied directly to his feelings of safety, his confidence, and his emotional connection to you. What we are about to uncover are the psychological keys that unlock that connection. This isn't about what to do, it's about what to understand. When you understand the inner workings of his heart, your actions become intuitive, authentic, and breathtakingly effective. You will no longer be guessing or worrying if you're doing it right. You will move with a quiet confidence, a deep-seated knowing that you are connecting with him in the exact way he craves, often in ways he himself doesn't even have the words to ask for. So let go of the idea of performance. Let go of the need to be perfect. Let's instead begin a journey into the psychology of magnetic intimacy. We begin with the first and most foundational secret, the one that creates the very ground upon which every other beautiful, passionate moment is built. It's the secret that reassures the deepest part of him and makes him feel on a daily basis that he is your man. Why men crave consistency more than you think. The first secret to what men consider great sex is consistent connection. Now, when you hear that, your mind might immediately jump to the word frequency. You might start thinking of numbers, of calendars, of obligation. You might feel a wave of exhaustion, thinking this is about meeting a quota. But that's not what this is about at all. We are going to completely reframe that idea. This isn't about a number, it's about a feeling. It's about creating a constant, low-level hum of connection that makes him feel chosen, wanted, and secure in your desire for him. To understand why this is so critical, we need to look at a hidden vulnerability that most men carry, but will almost never speak about. From a very young age, men are conditioned to be providers, protectors, to be strong and self-reliant. They are taught that showing emotional need is a sign of weakness. A woman might feel comfortable saying to her partner, I need you to tell me you love me. I need to hear that I'm beautiful. She can ask for verbal reassurance. Most men are not given that same emotional toolkit. They are conditioned to believe they shouldn't need reassurance, and yet they do. Deep down, a man carries a fundamental, often subconscious fear of rejection. He fears not being wanted, not being good enough, especially for the woman whose opinion matters more than anyone else's in the world, yours. He can't ask, do you still want me? He can't say, I feel insecure and need to know you're still attracted to me. The programming of a lifetime prevents it. So how does he get that reassurance? How is that deep need met? It's met through physical connection. For many men, consistent physical intimacy is the primary language of acceptance and desire. It's the non-verbal answer to the question he's too afraid to ask. Every time you initiate a touch, every time you welcome his advance, every time you close the physical distance between you, you are speaking this language. You are saying, I see you, I choose you, I still want you. When that connection becomes infrequent or inconsistent, his subconscious mind doesn't just think, we're not having sex. It can interpret that distance as a quiet, creeping rejection. The unspoken fear begins to surface. Maybe she's not attracted to me anymore. Maybe she's with me out of obligation. Maybe I've lost her. This creates a subtle anxiety that can build into a wall between you. So this secret is not about you fulfilling an obligation. It's about you holding the power to create his emotional safety. By understanding that your consistent affection is his primary source of reassurance, you shift from seeing it as a chore to seeing it as the most profound act of love and connection. It's the constant current that keeps your relationship warm and alive, and it's the essential foundation for every other secret we will discuss. The desire thermostat, how to keep the connection warm. So how do we create this feeling of consistent connection without it feeling forced or scheduled? We do it by learning to manage what I call the desire thermostat. Imagine that in your relationship, there is a thermostat that controls the temperature of intimacy and connection. When a couple has fallen into a routine where they only really touch when sex is on the table, that thermostat is set to freezing. The air between you is cold and still. In this state, initiating intimacy feels like an enormous task. It requires one person to bravely walk across a cold, dark room and try to single-handedly generate a fire. It's a huge leap, loaded with pressure and the potential for rejection. The initiator feels vulnerable and the receiver can feel pressured. It turns intimacy into a big, scheduled event rather than a natural state of being. Living with a cold thermostat is exhausting, but what if instead you could keep that thermostat at a constant, gentle warmth? What if the air between you was always filled with a low hum of affection and connection, so that moving towards full intimacy wasn't a giant leap, but just a single easy step? This is the secret. You keep the connection warm with small, consistent, non-transactional touches and gestures throughout the day, every day. These are actions that have no other agenda than to say, I'm here and you are my person. Think of them as small deposits into the bank of your connection. For example, when you wake up in the morning, before your feet even hit the floor, roll over and give him a real hug. Not a prelude to anything else, just a 5-second hug that says, good morning, I love waking up next to you. You've just turned the thermostat up a few degrees. As you pass him in the kitchen while making coffee, let your hand rest on the small of his back for just a moment. It's a silent, fleeting gesture that says, I see you and I'm connected to you. Another degree warmer. When he leaves for work, give him a kiss that lasts for 3 seconds instead of a quick peck on the cheek. A kiss that has a tiny bit of intention behind it, a small reminder of the passion that exists between you. The thermostat rises again. During the day, a simple text, not a question about groceries or bills, but something like, I was just thinking about your smile. That's a digital touch, a small burst of warmth that reaches him even when you're apart. When he comes home, stop what you're doing for 10 seconds. Meet him at the door, look him in the eyes, and give him a genuine kiss hello. It communicates that his return is the most important event of your day. The room gets warmer. While you're watching television on the couch, instead of sitting on opposite ends, close the distance. Let your legs touch. Rest your head on his shoulder. These small, passive acts of physical closeness keep the low hum of connection going. None of these things are grand gestures. None of them are demanding, but they are incredibly powerful. Each one is a signal to his nervous system and to his subconscious mind that he is safe, desired, and connected to you. You are constantly tending to the fire so it never goes out. And the beautiful result, when the desire thermostat is always warm, the pressure dissolves. Initiating sex is no longer a big deal. It's a natural, fluid extension of the warmth that already exists between you. He will feel more confident to initiate because the risk of rejection feels near zero. And you will feel more relaxed and open to him because his touch will no longer feel like it always comes with an expectation. You're simply turning up the dial from warm to hot, and that is a far more effortless and joyful experience for you both. Transition, the silent invitation, 750 words. By mastering the desire thermostat, you achieve something truly profound. You create an environment of unconditional physical acceptance. You build a foundation so solid that it can weather the natural ebbs and flows of life, the stressful days at work, the exhaustion of parenting, the inevitable moments of friction. That consistent warmth becomes your relational home base, a safe harbor he knows he can always return to, where he will always be wanted and accepted by you. This sense of safety is the single most important ingredient in a man's ability to be a great lover. When a man feels fundamentally secure in your desire for him, he is free. He is free from the anxiety of performance. He is free from the fear of rejection. He is free to focus completely on you, on the moment, on your pleasure. This safety doesn't make him complacent. It makes him confident. And a confident man is an attentive and generous lover. But here is what is so crucial to understand. This incredible, unshakable foundation of safety is not the end goal. It is the beginning. It is the silent invitation for something more. Think of it like building a house. You spend time and effort laying a deep, solid concrete foundation. You pour your energy into making sure it is strong, level, and secure. It's the most important part of the structure, but you don't build a foundation just to look at it. You build it so you can create something beautiful on top of it. Once that foundation is set, you can build walls, add windows, paint the rooms with vibrant colors. You can fill it with art, with music, with laughter, with adventure. The consistent connection we've just talked about, that is your foundation. It's the essential groundwork that makes everything else possible. It creates the emotional and psychological stability required for true passion to flourish. Now that you understand how to build this unshakable sense of security, where he feels completely and totally chosen by you every single day, a new question emerges. What do you build on top of it? Once the fear of rejection is gone, what exciting new feelings can you introduce? This is where the real magic begins. Because once a man feels safe, the next thing he craves is adventure. He craves novelty. He craves the thrill of exploration with his trusted partner by his side. The first secret creates safety. The second secret, which we are about to uncover, takes that safety and uses it as a launch pad for excitement, for playfulness, and for the kind of variety that keeps the spark alive, not just for months, but for decades. Number 20. The spark, the secret of shared exploration, the beautiful prison of routine. Now that we have built our beautiful, solid foundation of consistent connection and safety, we can begin to build something truly exciting upon it. This brings us to the second great secret to what men consider incredible sex, shared exploration. This is the secret that combats the silent killer of passion in almost every long-term relationship routine. Routine is a fascinating paradox. On one hand, it's a source of comfort. It's the predictable rhythm of your morning coffee, the familiar side of the bed you both sleep on, the reliable comfort of knowing what to expect. It builds a life. But that same predictability, when left unchecked, can slowly and quietly build a prison around your passion. A beautiful prison, perhaps with comfortable furniture and familiar views, but a prison nonetheless. Inside this prison, everything becomes expected. Tuesday is takeout night. Friday is movie night. You have your shows, your chores, your rhythm, and slowly intimacy finds its own predictable slot. It happens at the same time, in the same place, and often in the same way. The sequence of events becomes a well-known script. A kiss leads to a touch. That touch leads to the bedroom. The lights go down, and the familiar, comfortable pattern plays out. There is nothing inherently wrong with this. It can be loving and connecting, but for the human brain, and particularly for the masculine brain, which is highly wired for novelty and problem solving, predictability is the enemy of excitement. Think of it this way. Neurochemically, your brain releases a wonderful cocktail of dopamine and norepinephrine when it encounters something new and exciting. It's that feeling you had on your first few dates, the thrill of the unknown, the spark of discovery. Your brain was on high alert, soaking in every new detail about this person. But when a stimulus becomes completely predictable, the brain's reward centers respond less and less. It essentially says, I've seen this before. I know how this ends. And that exciting chemical cocktail slows to a trickle. Routine literally lulls the brain to sleep. This isn't his fault, and it isn't yours. It is simply human biology. The spark doesn't die because you stop loving each other. It fades because you stop giving your brains a reason to fire up with excitement. The adventure of discovery has been replaced by the comfort of repetition. Recognizing this is the first step to breaking free. You don't have to tear down the entire life you've built to escape this beautiful prison. You just have to be willing to open the door and step outside together, hand in hand, into the world of the new. The secret is to consciously and playfully conspire against routine, to become partners in the delightful crime of shaking things up. It's about reintroducing the thrill of the unknown, not just into your bedroom, but into the entire fabric of your life together, beyond the bedroom, the Novelty inoculation. So how do we begin to dismantle this prison of routine? It doesn't start with a dramatic gesture or a radical change in the bedroom. That can feel intimidating and high pressure. Instead, it starts in the most unexpected places, in your kitchen, in your car, on your evening walk. The most effective way to introduce variety into your intimate life is to first introduce it into your daily life. I call this the Novelty inoculation. Think of routine as a low-grade virus that slowly drains energy from your relationship. A novelty inoculation is a small, intentional dose of newness that you inject into your regular life. It works like a vaccine, building up your relationship's immunity to boredom and making you both more resilient, playful, and open to change. It rewires your brains to associate your relationship with discovery, not just comfort. This is a game you can play together, and it's incredibly simple. The goal is to consciously break one small, insignificant routine every few days. For example, do you always order from the same 3 restaurants? This week, your inoculation is to close your eyes, spin your finger around on a food delivery app, and order from wherever it lands, no matter what it is. You might discover a hidden gem, or you might have a laugh over a terrible meal. Either way, you've broken the pattern. You've created a new shared experience. Do you have a favorite route you always take for your evening walk? Tonight, take a left where you always take a right. Intentionally get a little lost in your own neighborhood. You'll see new houses, new gardens, new paths. It's a tiny adventure, but it's an adventure you're on together. Do you always listen to the same music playlist in the car or while making dinner? Ask him to play you the album that defined his high school years, and you do the same for him. You'll learn something new about each other, share stories, and fill your home with a different energy. The list of possibilities is endless. Drive to a different grocery store. Go to a park in a different town. Watch a documentary on a subject neither of you know anything about. Rearrange the furniture in your living room. The acts themselves are small, but their cumulative effect is monumental. Each time you administer a novelty inoculation, you are sending a powerful message to each other and to your own minds. We are not people who are stuck. We are explorers. We are a team that tries new things. This process works on a deep psychological level. It builds what psychologists call relational flexibility. It stretches your comfort zone as a couple in low-stakes environments. So when the time comes to suggest trying something new in the bedroom, it no longer feels like a jarring, out-of-character request. It feels like a natural continuation of the adventurous spirit you have already been cultivating in your everyday life. You're not just trying a new position, you're being the couple who tries new things. You have already established a shared identity as explorers. Breaking the routine of missionary position becomes as natural as breaking the routine of your usual walking path. You have inoculated your relationship against boredom. And the wonderful side effect is that passion, excitement, and intimacy now have fertile new ground in which to grow. Menu of delights, introducing new ideas without pressure. Once you have cultivated this spirit of shared adventure in your daily life, you have earned the right to bring that spirit into your intimate life. The foundation of safety from our first secret ensures he feels wanted, and the novelty inoculations have made you both more open to new experiences. Now, how do we practically introduce new ideas into the bedroom without it feeling awkward, prescriptive, or scary? We do it with a beautiful and playful tool I call the menu of delights. This is a way to reframe the conversation entirely. You are not presenting him with a list of demands or a critique of your current sex life. You are inviting him to co-create a private, secret world of possibilities with you. It's a game, it's fun, and most importantly, it's completely free of pressure. Here's how it works. You choose a relaxed, non-sexual moment. Perhaps you're cuddling on the couch or just lying in bed talking, and you can introduce it with a soft, playful tone. You could say something like, hey, I was thinking about how much fun it is when we try new things, like that restaurant last week. And it got me thinking, what if we made a fun, secret maybe list for ourselves? A sort of menu of delights we could maybe try someday. No pressure at all, just a shared dream board for us. The framing is crucial. The words maybe, someday, and no pressure are your magic ingredients. They instantly remove any sense of obligation. This is not a to-do list. It's a could-do list. Then you can suggest some categories for your menu. This makes it feel more like a fun game. For example, category 1's eat, the appetizers, new sensations. This is the low stakes category. You could add things like introducing a blindfold to heighten the other senses, using ice cubes or a warm massage oil to play with temperature, trying a new kind of massage. These are small additions that can dramatically change the experience. Category 20, the main courses, new locations and positions. This is about changing the scenery. Your menu could include the living room floor by the fireplace, a spontaneous moment against a locked door, trying one new position we've never tried before. The goal isn't to be acrobatic, it's simply to break the physical pattern. Category 3E, the chef's specials, new scenarios. This is where you get to be a little more creative and tap into role playing. It could be something as simple as, let's pretend we're strangers meeting for the first time at a bar and you meet in your own living room. It could be recreating the passion of your first night together. It could be a scenario where one person is completely in charge for the evening. The key is that you build this menu together. You can write it down on a piece of paper that you keep in a special place, or just keep a running list in your minds. Each of you adds items to the list. Some things he suggests might surprise you, and some things you suggest might awaken something in him. The act of creating the menu is an intimate act in itself. You are building a shared world of desire free from judgment. And then, when the mood strikes on any given night, one of you can playfully say, should we order something from our menu tonight? You have a list of pre-approved adventures waiting for you. It takes all the guesswork and awkwardness out of the moment. You're not suggesting something out of the blue. You're simply choosing from your own private list of delights. It transforms variety from a source of anxiety into a source of shared, delicious anticipation. Transition from the physical to the mind, playing with the menu of delights, exploring new sensations and breaking free from the beautiful prison of routine is incredibly powerful. When you change the room you're in, you change the feeling. When you change the position you use, you change the physical sensation. When you change the script you follow, you change the energy between you. You are consciously adding layers of texture, color, and excitement to your physical connection. You are becoming masters of the external world of your intimacy. You are learning to paint with new colors on the canvas of your relationship. Each new experience, each broken routine adds a vibrant new stroke. And this is a beautiful, essential part of creating a passionate, long-lasting bond. It keeps the relationship alive, dynamic, and interesting. It proves to you both that your story is still being written and there are exciting chapters yet to come. But what if I told you there was a realm beyond the physical? A place where the possibilities are not just numerous, but infinite, changing what you do, and where you do it is one level of exploration. But the next and most profound level is changing the world you are in entirely, not by traveling to an exotic location, but by traveling to the most exotic and powerful location of all, the human mind. The physical world has limits. There are only so many rooms in your house, only so many positions your bodies can make. But the world of the imagination, the world of fantasy, that world has no walls, no rules, no gravity. It is a universe of pure potential waiting to be explored. This is where the deepest and most powerful connections are forged. When you can move beyond just sharing your bodies and begin to safely and playfully share your minds, you unlock a level of intimacy that few couples ever experience. You move from being lovers to being co-creators of your own private reality. The first secret built the foundation of safety. The second secret built a house of adventure on top of it. Now, the third secret will give you the key to a hidden room inside that house. A secret room where the deepest unspoken desires live. It's a place that might feel intimidating at first, but once you learn how to unlock the door, you will find it is the most exciting and profoundly connecting place you can ever go together. Now, let's find that key. Number 3, inner world, the secret of the unlocked mind, the most attractive place on earth, his mind. We've laid our foundation of safety. We've built a beautiful home of shared adventure upon it. We've learned to break routines in the physical world, introducing new colors and textures onto the canvas of your relationship. But now we arrive at the door to the secret room, the room where the deepest magic happens. This brings us to the third secret to what men consider profoundly great sex, the unlocked mind. For so long, we've been taught that female allure is purely physical. It's about the curve of a hip, the look in an eye, the softness of skin, and those things are beautiful. But they are not the source of true, lasting, magnetic power. They are the instruments in the orchestra, but they are not the music itself. The music, the melody that he will never be able to get out of his head, is composed in a place you cannot see, but you can learn to access. That place is his mind, the single most erotic, attractive, and intoxicating place on this entire planet for him is his own imagination when you are at the center of it. When you touch his skin, you are touching his body. But when you can safely enter his mind and play within his fantasies, you are touching his very soul. This is the difference between being a lover and being a muse. A lover shares his bed, a muse inhabits his dreams. The idea of fantasy can feel intimidating. Our culture often portrays it in a way that feels cheap, awkward, or even threatening. It brings up images of costumes, scripts, and expectations that can feel alien and disconnected from real loving intimacy. I want you to gently release all of those preconceived notions. True fantasy, in the context of a deep and loving relationship, is not about performance. It is about permission. It's about giving each other permission to explore the vast, limitless universe that exists within your minds. It's about creating a shared dreamscape, a private world that belongs only to the two of you, where there are no rules, no judgments, and no limitations. When you can create a space where he feels safe enough to share the workings of his mind with you, his hopes, his desires, his secret scenarios, you are giving him a gift of acceptance so profound it borders on sacred. You are communicating to him that you love and desire all of him. Not just the man the world sees, the one who goes to work and pays the bills, but the hidden man as well. The dreamer, the adventurer, the hero of his own inner story. Accessing this part of him is the key to becoming completely irreplaceable. Any woman can touch his body, but the woman who can safely hold and explore his mind, she becomes the keeper of his most vulnerable and precious self. She becomes the one person on earth with whom he is truly, completely naked. This is the ultimate form of intimacy, and it is the secret to creating a bond so powerful it transcends the physical and becomes legendary. Creating the safe space for unspoken desires, understanding the power of fantasy is one thing. But how do we create this sacred space in a way that feels natural, safe, and connecting rather than terrifying? How do you open the door to this secret room without him feeling interrogated or you feeling vulnerable? You do it slowly, gently, and with great love. You become the architect of a vault of trust. Here is the blueprint. Step 1, the soft invitation. This must happen outside the bedroom in a moment of warmth and connection. It's a conversation, not a prelude to sex. You can be cuddling on the couch or lying in bed after a nice day. The key is to introduce the idea hypothetically as a shared dream. You could say something soft and inviting like, I was thinking today about how much I trust you. It made me think, wouldn't it be amazing if we had a secret vault just for us? A place where we could share absolutely anything. A silly thought, a dream, a fantasy, and know it would be met with zero judgment, just curiosity and love. A place where nothing is off limits to talk about. Notice the language. Vault implies security. Silly thought, dream, a fantasy offers a range of options, lowering the pressure. Zero judgment is the ultimate promise of safety. You are not asking him to share a fantasy. You are co-creating the idea of the safe space itself. Step 2, the power of your vulnerability. You go first. Once you've planted the seed of the idea, the only way to prove the vault is real is to be the first one to place something inside it. A leader leads by example. Sharing a vulnerability before you ask for one is the ultimate act of trust building. You must go first, but what you share is important. Choose a fantasy that is more romantic and emotional than it is explicitly graphic. This sets a tone of intimacy, not just carnality. You could say, just thinking about our vault, I can tell you a small one of mine. I've always had this fantasy where you just completely take charge of an evening. You plan everything from what I wear to where we go, and my only job is to just relax and trust you completely, to feel totally swept away by you. This is a beautiful offering. It's vulnerable. It's complementary to him, and it centers on an emotion, trust, surrender rather than just a physical act. By sharing this, you have modeled the exact behavior you hope to receive. You have proven the vault is safe because you used it yourself. You have given him a priceless gift, the knowledge that he is now in a space where he can be vulnerable. 2, step 3, the art of receiving. Listen with your heart. This is the most critical step of all. When and if he decides to share something from his inner world with you, whether it's 5 minutes later or 5 weeks later, your reaction will determine if the vault door ever opens again. You must become the safest harbor in the world for his thoughts. When he speaks, your only job is to listen with love and curiosity. Do not interrupt. Do not let your face show shock or judgment. Keep your body language open and soft, a gentle hand on his arm, soft eye contact. When he is finished, your first words are everything. Do not ask, why do you want that? That question is loaded with judgment. Instead, you must get curious about the feeling behind the fantasy. Ask questions that start with what or how, not why. You could say, wow, thank you for trusting me with that. That's a really interesting thought. What's the feeling that excites you most about that idea? How does that make you feel when you imagine it? By focusing on the emotion, you are showing him that you are connecting with his inner world, not just reacting to a mental movie. You are validating the desire, not just the details. You are communicating that you see the man behind the fantasy and that you love him. Step 4, the golden rule, the no obligation clause. Finally, you must make one thing explicitly clear both for him and for you. Sharing a fantasy in the vault does not create an obligation to act on it. You can state this directly and lovingly. I want you to know the most exciting part of this for me is just getting to know your mind. Just hearing that is incredibly intimate. We never have to do a single thing on this list unless we both genuinely want to. The sharing is the gift. This is the ultimate safety net. It liberates you both. It allows your imaginations to run completely wild because the pressure of performance has been removed. Sometimes the intimacy of simply sharing the thought is more powerful than any physical act could ever be. You are free to be dreamers together, and that is a bond that is truly unbreakable. Decoding the why behind the what, the archetypes of male fantasy. As you create this safe space, you may begin to hear things that surprise you. His inner world might be different from what you expected. The key to staying in a place of loving curiosity rather than fear or insecurity is to understand that a fantasy is rarely about what it seems to be about on the surface. It is a metaphor. It is a story the mind tells itself to meet a deep, underlying psychological need. If you can learn to decode the why behind the what, you will understand him on a level he may not even understand himself. Let's explore some common archetypes of male fantasy. 1, the explorer and the taboo breaker archetype. This is the fantasy of doing it somewhere risky on a balcony in a semi-public place in the woods. The what seems to be about exhibitionism or getting caught. But the why is almost never about that. The underlying need here is for a shared secret. It's about creating an electrifying us against the world bubble. The thrill comes from the secret you two now share, a moment of adventure that belongs only to you. It bonds you together as partners in crime, co-conspirators in your own passionate story. It makes the relationship feel like an exciting adventure, not a boring routine. When you hear this fantasy, know that he's craving a secret adventure with you. 2, the teacher and the mentor archetype. This fantasy might involve him being more experienced, guiding you or teaching you something new. That what can seem a little egotistical on the surface, but the why is about a deep need to feel valued and competent. He wants to feel that he has something unique and special to offer you, something beyond just his physical presence. In a world where he may feel like just another cog in the machine at work, this fantasy allows him to feel like a master, a guide, a man of value in the world that matters most, your world. He is craving the feeling of being your trusted expert. 3, the hero and the protector archetype. This theme often involves scenarios of danger or rescue where he saves you or protects you. The what can seem aggressive or even primal. But the why is one of the most romantic and timeless male drives, the need to prove his devotion and feel essential to your well-being. This taps into his core biological programming to be a provider and a protector. It's not about violence, it's about his profound desire to be your hero, to be the man who can keep you safe from all harm. It's a fantasy about his ultimate usefulness and importance in your life. 4, the ravisher, the overwhelmer archetype. This is the fantasy of taking you with overwhelming passion, of a primal dominant encounter. This can be the most misunderstood fantasy of all. What can be mistaken for aggression? But the why in a loving and consensual relationship is about his desire to see you completely consumed by pleasure. His fantasy is not about hurting you, it's about being such a force of passion that you are completely swept away, that your analytical mind shuts off and you are able to fully surrender to sensation. His deepest desire here is to be the cause of your total uninhibited release. He wants to be a force of nature for you, 5. The surrenderer and the submissive archetype. Conversely, you may hear a fantasy where he wants you to take complete control. He wants to be told what to do, to be completely at your command. That what can be confusing, seeming to contradict traditional masculinity, but the why is beautiful. It is about the deep need for release from the burden of constant responsibility. Men often carry an immense weight of decision-making in their professional and personal lives. The fantasy of surrendering control to a woman he trusts implicitly is a fantasy of liberation. It's about the freedom to simply be without having to plan, perform, or lead. It is the ultimate act of trust in you as his partner. When you learn to see his fantasies through this lens, fear dissolves and compassion grows. You begin to see these stories not as strange requests, but as windows into his soul, revealing what he needs to feel powerful, connected, valued, and free, and understanding that is a gift of unparalleled intimacy. Transition, bringing the inner world out. We have now traveled to the deepest and most powerful place in our journey together. We opened the door to the secret room. We have learned that by creating a vault of absolute trust, we can move beyond the limits of the physical world and begin to explore the infinite universe of the mind. You now understand that his fantasies are not a reflection of what is lacking in you, but rather a revelation of what is driving him inside. They are the stories of his inner hero, his inner explorer, his inner dreamer. And by welcoming these stories with curiosity and love, you have done more than just learn about his desires. You have become the safe keeper of them. You have woven your presence into the very fabric of his imagination. That this is a level of connection that creates a truly unbreakable bond. You have the sheet music. You can read the melody of his soul. You understand the emotional chords he longs to have played. You know the why behind his desires. This knowledge in itself is an act of profound intimacy. But music is not meant to simply stay on the page. It is meant to be played. It is meant to be brought to life, to be felt, to fill the air. The final step in this journey is to bridge the inner world of the mind with the outer world of physical experience. It's about taking all of this deep psychological understanding and allowing it to inform and elevate your physical connection. The final secret is about closing the loop. It's about what happens when you bring the dream into reality. It's about the feedback he needs to receive to know that the music he is creating with you is beautiful. He needs to see and hear and feel the effect his lovemaking has on you. Knowing his mind is the secret to unlocking his desire. But the final secret, the one we are about to reveal, is what makes him feel like he is the ultimate master of your pleasure. It's the secret that validates him, empowers him, and makes him feel like the hero he has always wanted to be in your story. It's the beautiful, powerful, and final piece of the puzzle. The secret of the expressed pleasure that brings the music of your intimacy to its breathtaking crescendo. Let's learn how to play it. Number 4, the payoff, the secret of expressed pleasure, the one thing he needs to feel like a hero. We have journeyed so far together. We built the foundation of safety, ensuring he feels consistently chosen and wanted by you. We built a house of shared adventure upon it, learning to break routine and explore the new. And we unlock the secret room within that house, the inner world of his mind, learning to hold his fantasies with love and curiosity. You now understand the deep psychological currents that drive his desire. You have the keys to his heart and his mind. This brings us to our 4th and final secret. It is the secret that ties all the others together. It is the beautiful, brilliant combination of all your understanding. It is the payoff. The secret is expressed pleasure. To understand why this is so critical, we need to return to one of the archetypes. We discussed the hero. Deep within the heart of almost every good man is a fundamental desire to be a hero in the life of the woman he loves. This isn't about slaying dragons. It's about having a positive and profound impact on her world. And in no other area of your life together is his mission clearer, more primal, and more focused than in your intimate moments. When you are together, he is on a mission. That mission, whether he could articulate it or not, is to transport you. It is to take you from a world of stress, to do lists and anxieties, and carry you to a place of pure sensation, connection, and release. His entire focus, his energy, his being is aimed at that single noble goal, your pleasure. Your pleasure is his finish line. Your release is his victory. Your satisfaction is the ultimate validation of his effort, his masculinity, and his competence as your partner. Now, imagine a scenario where he undertakes this mission, but the room is silent. He moves, he touches, he tries, but he receives no feedback. He is navigating in the dark in a void. He has no way of knowing if he is on the right path. He has no idea if he is succeeding. That silence is one of the most disheartening and anxiety-inducing experiences for a man. In that silence, his own insecurities can begin to creep in. Am I doing this right? Is she enjoying this? Is she just waiting for this to be over? The hero starts to feel like a failure. Conversely, think about what happens when you give him feedback. Think about what happens when you let him know through your body and your voice that his mission is succeeding. You are not just enjoying yourself, you are actively confirming his success in real time. You are giving him the one thing he craves most in that moment, the knowledge that he is having a profound positive effect on you. This is why your expressed pleasure is not a selfish act. It is, in fact, the most generous and loving gift you can give him. You are holding up a mirror to him and showing him his own power, his own competence, his own heroism. You are allowing him to see himself through your eyes as the man who can sweep you away. And there is no feeling on earth more empowering for him than that your pleasure is his purpose in those moments. Allowing him to see it is how you let him know that his purpose has been fulfilled. The sound of your pleasure, giving him the ultimate gift. So if your pleasure is his purpose, how does he know when he's achieving it? He knows because you show him and you tell him. You give him the gift of your authentic, uninhibited expression. Now, for so many of us, this is a place of deep vulnerability. From a young age, women are often taught to be quiet, to be considerate, to not take up too much space. We worry about the neighbors. We worry about the kids down the hall. We worry that if we are too loud, too vocal, too expressive, we will be judged. We will be seen as too much, as wild or freakish. And so we learn to stifle the sounds of our own pleasure. We hold our breath. We bite our lip. We experience the pleasure internally, but we keep the evidence of it locked away inside. I am here today to give you full, unequivocal permission to let that go. I want you to reframe this entire concept in your mind. Your expressions of pleasure are not a loud, indulgent performance. They are a beautiful, essential form of communication. They are his navigation system. They are his live feedback loop. They are the map he uses to find your pleasure and the sound of his applause when he gets there. Think of it in these different languages of pleasure, the language of breath. This is the first and most fundamental signal. When you are quiet and your breathing is shallow, he has no idea what you're feeling. But the moment your breathing changes, the moment it quickens or deepens, it's the first sign to him that something is shifting. When you let out a soft sigh of release as he touches you in a certain way, it's like a flare going up in the dark that says, that's it, right there. More of that. Don't hold your breath. Let him hear it. Your breath is the soundtrack of your rising pleasure. The language of sound, your voice, is the most powerful tool you have. A soft moan, a gentle hum of appreciation, whispering his name in a moment of intensity. These are not just sounds. To his nervous system, they are signals of profound success. Each sound is a reward. It's a burst of validation that tells his brain, you are doing it. You are succeeding in your mission. It encourages him, it excites him, and it fuels his own arousal. He is not judging your sounds, he is celebrating them. He is celebrating because your sounds are the sound of his victory. The language of the body, your body communicates long before your voice does. When you instinctively arch your back to get closer to him, you are saying, yes. When your toes curl in a moment of intense sensation, you are telling him he has found a special place. When your fingers tighten on his shoulders or in his hair, you are communicating an intensity that words cannot capture. Don't stifle these reactions. Your involuntary physical responses are the most honest and powerful feedback you can possibly give. They are the physical proof of the effect he is having on you. The language of touch intimacy is not a one-way street. The way you touch him back is a crucial part of your expressed pleasure. When you actively kiss him back with passion, when you run your hands over his body, when you pull him closer to you, you are moving from being a passive recipient of pleasure to an active participant in it. You are communicating that you are not just enjoying what he is doing, but that you desire him. This is a critical distinction. It makes him feel wanted, not just useful. Letting these languages flow from you freely is an act of trust and generosity. You are trusting him enough to be completely, authentically yourself in your most vulnerable state. And you are giving him the gift of knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that he is the man who can bring you to that beautiful place. So let him hear you. Let him feel you. Let him see the undeniable proof of his own power in your beautiful, uninhibited release, the afterglow anchoring the connection the crescendo has passed. Your heartbeats are beginning to slow. The room is filled with a quiet warmth. It is in this moment, in the minutes immediately following your intimacy, that one of the most important psychological processes of your connection takes place. This is the afterglow, and it is where you anchor the entire experience in his heart and mind. So often we treat the end of the physical act as the end of the experience. We might roll over, go to sleep, or get up for a glass of water, but this is a missed opportunity of immense proportions. The moments after sex are when your bodies and brains are flooded with a powerful neurochemical cocktail, primarily oxytocin and vasopressin. These are often called the cuddle hormones or bonding hormones. They are literally the brain's bonding agents. The feelings and actions that occur while these chemicals are active become deeply encoded in our memory, associated with feelings of trust, safety, and profound connection. Your job in the afterglow is to consciously use this window of opportunity to save the game, to anchor all the positive feelings of the experience and transform a fleeting physical moment into a lasting emotional memory. This is what makes him crave not just the sex, but the entire experience of being with you. This doesn't require grand gestures. It requires small, intentional acts of connection. Use the language of reassurance. This is where verbal validation becomes so powerful. While your sounds and movements were the feedback during the act, your words are the final report card. They are the confirmation of his success. Instead of a simple, "that was nice," use words that connect the physical act to an emotional feeling. You could whisper something like, "I feel so incredibly close to you right now. Thank you for that. I feel so safe with you. You make me feel absolutely beautiful." These statements do more than just compliment his performance. They validate his character and your emotional connection. They tell me he didn't just give you an orgasm, he gave you a feeling of safety, closeness, and beauty. That is a heroic achievement. Use the language of touch. Don't immediately create distance. The instinct to roll away can be interpreted by his vulnerable, post-intimacy brain as a form of rejection. Instead, cultivate closeness, pull him closer, leave your leg intertwined with his, run your fingers gently through his hair or across his back, a soft, lingering kiss on his shoulder or his forehead. These small, lingering touches are non-verbal signals that say, "I don't want this feeling to end. I want to stay here with you." It reassures him that your connection transcends the physical act itself. This practice of anchoring the afterglow is the final seal on your intimacy. It takes the beautiful experience you just shared and covers it in a warm blanket of emotional safety and appreciation. It cements the memory in his mind not just as an act of passion, but as an act of profound connection and acceptance. It's the last note of the song, the one that lingers in the air and makes him want to play the music all over again. It ensures that when he thinks of you, he doesn't just think of a lover, he thinks of home. We began this journey together in a quiet, uncertain place with a question that so many of us are afraid to ask: am I enough? Now, after traveling through the deepest parts of the male heart and mind, I hope you feel the answer to that question in every cell of your being. You are not just enough. You are everything. You are the entire landscape of his desire. What you have learned today is not a list of techniques to perform. It is a single, beautiful philosophy. It is a new way of seeing intimacy, not as an act, but as an art form built on the foundation of deep psychological connection. You learned the first secret, consistent connection. You discovered that by managing the desire thermostat, you create the profound safety and reassurance he craves, making him feel chosen by you every single day. You learned the second secret, shared exploration. You found the courage to become partners in adventure, using the menu of delights to break free from the prison of routine and keep the spark of discovery alive in every part of your life together. You learned the third secret, the unlocked mind. You were given the key to the most sacred place of all, his imagination, by creating a vault of trust and learning to decode the archetypes of his fantasies. You became the safekeeper of his inner world. And finally, you learned the fourth secret, expressed pleasure. You embraced the power of your own release, understanding that your authentic pleasure is the ultimate gift you can give him, the undeniable proof of his heroism in your story. Do you see how they all connect? Safety allows for adventure. Adventure opens the door to the mind, and an understood mind allows for the most profound and uninhibited pleasure to be expressed. This is your new blueprint for magnetic intimacy. It is a shift from performing for him to perceiving him. It's about listening to the unspoken needs of his heart and having the wisdom to meet them. This is not about manipulation. It is the highest form of love. It is the art of making a man feel so completely seen, so deeply understood, and so profoundly desired that the thought of being with anyone else becomes impossible. Your journey into this deeper understanding is just beginning. If this video has opened a new door for you, I invite you to become part of this community. In the comments below, I would love to know which of these 4 secrets resonated with you the most deeply and why. Sharing your insight could be the very thing someone else needs to read today. And if you want to continue this journey of creating an unshakable bond with your partner, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of women dedicated to deep, conscious, and passionate relationships. Finally, now that you understand the secrets of intimacy, the next step is to master the art of daily communication. Be sure to watch our next video, 5 phrases that make him feel deeply understood, to learn how to apply these principles to your everyday conversations. Thank you for trusting me with your time and your heart today. Go forward with confidence, with wisdom, and with the quiet power of knowing you now hold the keys